This second question goes to Congresswoman Spanberger. My whole life, I've strongly believed it is important to have more women in the workplace, especially in male-dominant jobs. Seeing that you've worked in the CIA and now in Congress, what has helped you speak to be heard?
So, thank you for being here. Thank you for stepping outside what might be your comfort zone and asking us questions. You're right. I've always worked in male-dominated fields. Before I was with CIA, I was a federal agent, and so I was carrying a gun every day. I was doing arrest warrants, and I was typically one of the only women. As a CIA case officer, for the entirety of my time when I was overseas or in stations, I only ever worked with one other woman who is married in my same job role. I never worked with another woman who had children, and so my perspective, my experience was very, very different. And then in Congress, we eked up the numbers of women this year, but still we are a quarter of Congress, and we should be less than a quarter. We should be a whole heck of a lot more than that. Yeah. That's also a possibility. But for me, the way that I've always handled it is I wanted to be in those jobs just as much as anyone else, and I felt that I belonged in those jobs just as much as anyone else. And when you think about anything you are doing, the perspective that I bring to the table because of who I am, where I grew up, what my family dynamic is, everything makes you who you are. The sports you play as a kid, the sports you don't play as a kid, the activities that you have. I'm the oldest of 3 daughters, right? I mean, everything makes you who you are. And so recognizing that if I'm out working to ensure that we're collecting valuable intelligence to allow our policymakers back home to make good decisions, if you just have a lineup of people who all look the same and think the same, you're losing so much. And so I always, and it wasn't always easy, but I always went into those situations saying, I belong here and I bring something to the table. And you just have to constantly believe that, because sometimes other people don't. But when you work hard and continue to know that you are bringing value, and you have to be very internally motivated, that's what always motivated me, and that's why I always continued to work hard. And frankly, the more you could open up that space and make it much broader and easier for more women to come behind you, the better. My hope is that we're never going to be, celebrating, oh my goodness, it's all of these women, it's so amazing, because ideally we've broadened the door, and so we should expect a flush of women to come into Congress every cycle, because hopefully we've normalized it. And so our goal is that by the time all of you are ready to run for Congress or support your friends who are running for Congress, it won't be such an exceptional thing when they say, oh my goodness, she's 31-year-old running for Congress. That's crazy. Ideally, we'll help normalize it for you all, and then you'll do it for our kids.